Alrighty, here we go. Kia ora, morena, everyone. Ina mana, ina waka, ina reo, ira rangatirama, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. I actually like to do a little whakatauki just to start us off. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa po namu te moana, kia teri te karohirohi. And what that says is obviously beyond the welcome, is look, may the calm be widespread. So each and every one of you is probably travelled to get here in some shape or form, dropped kids, or has got the pressures of other things going on in your life. So I'd like to acknowledge that and thank you. The second part of that talks about Pouanamu and Pouanamu shining on the water. And what I mean by that is each and every one of us has something unique and special inside us. That actually, given the opportunity and life to grow and shine, that it actually does very, very well. And so hackathons are a great way to uncover new skills, new areas, and new opportunities. And so that's the last part of it, which I hope through the course of the hackathon, but also, I guess in terms of this training, is that the light ever shines across your pathway. So that's the last part of that whakatauki. So, right, so let's get into it. So hopefully on screen, everyone has got, I guess, us plus the kia ora on the screen. Can I just get a thumbs up if that's the case? Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'll just close this off. We may get some people just popping in. If that's the case, I'll just it might interrupt the flow a little bit, and I might just need to let them in. The second thing just to be aware of is if you, for whatever reason, have any questions, and I'm sort of ripping through it, please drop them into the chat. And if you're needing to see the chat in Zoom, it's up the top. If you go up to the controls, it's where the three dots are, and you'll see ... Click on that and you'll see chat. It'll bring up a chat window. Okay, so we've just got Tom arriving again. Kia ora, Tom.
No,
Nice to
no.
see you. Yeah, awesome. Good to see you, man. All right, so for those of you that I haven't met yet, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. If I just can ask, I think Tom, yeah, I'll just get everyone to mute. My name's Kerry Top. I'm blessed to be one of the organisers of Hack Tāmaki. My previous roles have been at Datacom, where I was the head of transformation and innovation, and what I specialised in was bringing, I guess, corporate challenges to the community. And so I run hackathons across the country, about almost 30 in fact. I say somewhat like, how the hell did that happen? And they're great ways of learning, and they're great ways of accelerating business ideas. And I've seen people pick up new skills, and I've seen people pick up jobs and new products developed and new services and markets. So why I'm doing this is I've started a business that's really focused on accelerating that, hacking that process and doing that, lifting capability and delivering products. So enough about me and why I'm here. I want to be a good ancestor, and I live at the base of Monterey. So Tamaki is a place that's dear to me and my family. So we're here because of the place, Tamaki, the place where ideas spring to life, and it's about powering up the innovation ecosystem, lifting capability, creating hopefully at the end of this some jobs that come out of it, but also a place where people want to come and be a part of. So and you pick up some new skills and capabilities. So in terms of for those of you that are new, a few of you have been on the line yesterday, and you'll know when and where. So March 26th, 28th, which is not very far away. So we're less than a couple of weeks. We're into almost a week. So at Jacobson's, 41D Moran Road, you are one of over 100 people. We expect that we'll see some drop off. We think the number will be around 90. So we're hoping that it'll be around that. So that's cool. What success looks like is, if I start with the second one first, actually, it's actually you've picked up some new skills, you've picked up some new capabilities, and you've met some people. And the second thing is that we've accelerated an idea that has commercial and social impact for the region. And finally, the other one is that we actually have raised awareness and profile of Tamaki as a place to live, work, and play. So, look, and the other reason that we're here, beyond, I guess, that aspirational element, is actually we're about getting hack fit. So there's a few of you who may or may not have been a part of hackathons before. So our goal is to get you hack fit for Hack Tāmaki. This session, it's not like the last one. That last one took about half an hour, and then we had some questions. This one should take about 20 minutes. It's a useful tool. So if you weren't able to make the last one yesterday, that was a Hackathon 101. I'd encourage you to have a look at that. I've posted the video in the WhatsApp group, and I'll do this for all of them. And I'll also send out an email on Saturday morning just to everyone, so covering what the material is. So these are the 3 things that we're going to train you up in and get you used to. I'm going to use some tips, and I'm going to use some things to watch out for. So let's get into it. No mucking around. So lean canvassing. So what I want to get for you out of this is what the bloody hell is a lean canvas, if you haven't used one before. What are the key components of a lean canvas model, and how do you build one, and how is it developed for a specific product, and what resources are available to help you develop that lean canvas. So these are really handy if you're entrepreneurial, or even if you're grappling with a concept or an idea where you're wanting to ideate, throw some ideas around, and you're wanting to try and solution. They're really good for that. They're not the only ones. So there's a lean canvas, there's a business canvas, and there's a mission canvas. They're all pretty much of a muchness. If you nail lean canvas, you're sweet, right? So it's a bloody handy tool, and hence why we use it. So when you bring a discrete group of people together that haven't worked together, there's nothing like kind of getting something up on a big A1 sized poster that has all the ideas that come out. And the reason for that is you've all got good ideas, but actually getting the best ideas up and out and visible is really helpful. So you'll get a massive one of these as part of your team, and the whole idea is to throw out as many ideas that you can in the various areas, and then you whittle it down over time. And it is a visual focus point for you as a team to come together. So does everyone know what Hei Waka Ekanoi means? So it means together as one. And so what this does is really just brings everyone from their discrete areas and individual concepts and ideas, and it starts bringing you together really quickly at the beginning of the hackathon onto one page. And the goal is to try and stay on there, right? And so staying in that waka of the concept and idea that you're taking on. The typical journey that you'll go through is you've got a business challenge, right? So you'll jump into one of the business challenges, and you'll come together as a team, and you'll start putting up what is the business problem, what's the market you're going after. I'll explain, and you'll see this in a minute. And then what's the solution you might look at, and it's all designed in a component model where you can actually pull out each of the pieces and put it in a presentation really quickly, right? Because ultimately you've got to be presenting this. So I kind of brushed over this yesterday, and I just want to spend a little bit more time on it, because the process you'll go through, you'll get the business challenge, right? You'll come and join up with a business challenge, one of the 5 that are presented. You'll go away into your groups and teams and the spaces that you're allocated. And then you'll use the lean canvas to gather insight. Do you have a clear business problem? Are you clear on what you want to achieve? And then basically you'll start using the lean canvas to whittle it down into, are we clear on scope? And then we'll go and test that. So then you'll use this is what the double diamond is. This is the double diamond that you can see here. Then you'll go and test that with some people. So you'll go and validate that concept. And at the moment it might be on paper. And so rather than before you build anything. And so you'll test it on paper. We've got this concept and idea. You go and talk to people. You'll survey them. You'll poll them, and then you'll get some information. And then you'll bring that back together really quickly to start then test, validate, and then bring the solutioning. So what you'll see here down the bottom is kind of how your energy levels will really go through the course of the event. Like Friday, you'll start pretty pumped. Saturday, you'll sort of go in, you'll be sort of tired when you come in Saturday morning. The time runs from Friday till doors close at 10 o'clock. And then we open at 7 o'clock in the morning. There'll be a wonderful breakfast there, so encourage you to come in. You'll be on a bit of a high as your team comes in. around sort of that 12 to 2. After 2, 3 to 5 is a real low. It's just a sugar low. It's not you and it's not the event. It's just natural sugar low. And then what you find is after dinner, everyone starts cranking. And I'll tell you what, your energy goes on a real high and it's a buzz, man. And we've got some really exciting sort of things that we're going to be dropping in there just to keep that energy going. Close at 10 o'clock and then back on the Sunday morning, and then it's all like this, right? It's all like energy, holy hell. So that, it will follow a bit of a double diamond and that energy levels. I'm just trying to give you that sense of what it'll be like if you haven't done it before. So in there, what we do to manage the control of the concepts and ideas is we just have a canvas called the lean canvas. And it looks like something like this. And I'm going to use an example that I've used many, many years. That's actually of this guy. Does everyone know who this guy is? Thumbs up if you do. It's from ASB. It was a piggy bank. It was the evolution of a piggy bank, and I'm just using it as an example. So it's not a commercial example. It was a kind of a feel-good element, but I just wanted to make it a bit playful and fun. So down in the bottom, you'll see that actually there's a canvas flow order, and the way that you do it is section 1 and 2. I do those together, and then you go to section 3, section 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's an order that you follow through the course of the weekend. So what we're going to do now is we're going to park Cashin, and we're going to run an example. So and then I'll try and do it for say someone like Ichabod, right? So if you come over here, so on screen you should see the lean canvas, and it's got a few things about a customer segment. I'll just let Winya back in, and then over the other side you've got some problems. So if I convey this problem, and just imagine it's one of the problems that we're trying to solve for. This, by the way, this is made up, but I did present it to ASB. To their exec, because when I was working with ASB in many moons ago, and trying to help them get better at ideation and speed, and they said, shit, we could have used this at the time. So look, the problem statement is in a cashless society, kids aren't learning to save, right? They don't use piggy banks anymore. Parents don't carry cash. And so what that means is that kids between 3 and 12 don't actually learn how to save. And so if you sit there and go, well, actually we've got a problem there, who do we need to be talking to? Well, is it the users and the kids? It could be, in terms of attracting them and getting them excited, but ultimately it's going to be the customer, is going to be the parents and relatives, maybe grandparents. And actually when you boil it down, and this is where you get the crystal moment, is where you say the problem. So the problem's not necessarily that the parents don't carry cash and the kids don't learn to save as a manifestation of that, right? It's actually, the problem is the intangibility of money. Now you think about that for a minute in terms of society. What does the intangibility of money mean for us in terms of well-being, prosperity, investment, etc., right? So the fundamentals aren't there to enable us to have, a part of a good life. Money is an enabler. It shouldn't be the goal. It should be an enabler of the things that we want. But if we can't understand money and how it operates and how we can invest and save, then we've got a challenge. So there's some existing alternatives out there to potential solution. That's manual charts. So for us, we use buttons, or we used buttons when the kids were young. So our kids are 15, 12 and 8 now. But we used to use buttons, and so they'd collect jars of buttons. We'd use marbles, use star charts and things like that. So I apologise for anyone that doesn't have kids. It probably won't mean a hell of a lot at this point, but I can guarantee if and when or you do have kids, this stuff is gold. So what you've got is you want to come up with your unique value proposition. Your UVP, or your unique value proposition, is a cashless money box that teaches kids how to save. It seeks to solve the intangibility of money. It seeks to make real money in a digital world. So just get a show of thumbs. How does that, do people following those 3 bits? Yeah, yeah. And so what you just need to do is work through your business problem and come up. It won't be as clean and easy as that, right? I've had many years of refining this, but it'll be a bit messy. You'll have post-it notes all over the place, but that's the idea. You need to get very clear on the problem and the market that you're trying to solve. Those 2 pieces are critical, particularly the problem and who you're solving it for. And then the other, because you need to understand the size of the market. And then the unique value proposition. They are the 3 things that you need to get really clear on by about sort of midday Saturday, give or take. We've seen others, teams that haven't quite got there, they've gone at 2 o'clock. That's okay. I've seen one team that I've in one of the hackathons not get it until 10 o'clock on the Saturday night, and then have to build something overnight. It was incredible. They actually came 4th. So just shows you if you get clear on it, you can actually go really, really well. So then you go, well, at a high level concept, it's a digital piggy bank for kids. So what are the solutions? Well, there's a physical element to it. There's a piggy bank potentially that's physical. There's an app instead of cash, and you want to make it fun. So there's some elements of the solution. On the other side, you've got, well, who are the channels? Where could we sell this? So it's through ASB has a strong retail and online property, so that was an easy channel to get it out. And kids and parents at events, right? So if the goal is to scale as many of these cashless money boxes as you can, where can you get them to? So then the next thing is, what's your revenue streams? Well, your revenue streams, and this is as broad as you need to get it, right? It's actually, we're going to sell them the units. We think they're going to be, I don't know, $100 or $50. We think that we can sell 80 to 80,000 of them. And we know that their revenue streams potentially could come through corporate social responsibility or charities that are trying to teach kids money. So there's charities out there. We think that there's potentially CSR or corporate social responsibility funding that might enable it. So then on the other side, and this is all you have to do, and I work on the basis of t-shirt size down here. So if you can give me a revenue that's it's a small to medium, or a medium to large, or a large to XL or triple XL, that at least gives a quantity. You don't have to go into the science. You can do back of a fag packet, this is what it looks like. So my advice on the revenue and cost structure is find someone pretty quickly who likes to do sort of modeling, and your business mentors will be able to help you with that. So at a high level, they won't do it for you, but you just need to find someone who loves numbers, who can do some modeling at a high level. Doesn't need to be detailed. And then cost structures is, you've got some hardware design and production, so you just ask around, get some quotes, do some whatever. You'll need some internal and external marketing, some internal software developers, so you might need to hire some people. You might hire interns, you might, however it is. You might then reach out to some external development partners. Thankfully, you've got a number of them that are there that could potentially give you a ballpark quote to help you understand the cost of that. So we're almost there, folks. So and then what the judges are probably going to want to understand is what's called your leading and lagging indicators. What are your key metrics that you think you can achieve? So number of target accounts opened, well, that's kind of a lagging indicator. But the number of units sold, that's a leading indicator, right? That says, well, if we're selling those units, then and the number of users in use, then actually we know that, well, we've got new accounts, and obviously those people will stay longer for us. So the maths on this goes that if you have a kid from an early stage, more than likely they will bank for you for a good period of time, even a lifetime. So I can't remember the exact numbers, but so look, that's I guess the unfair advantage. If I unpack that, so up the top right hand side, at the time that they did this, ASB had the first mover advantage. No one had done something like this before. And they also had ASB's position in market, i.e. they had a large number of customers that they could appeal to. So that is that. I'll just pause there. Are there any questions before I jump into kind of my advice about running a lean canvas session? Any questions?
Just on the morning,
What do you
just
know?
on the the presentation that we have at the end, do you find most groups use those particular terms that we're just looking at the lean canvas in their presentation?
Yeah, they do, Te Ariki. They actually they translate quite nicely across. Now I mean, what you're going to want to do is, and when I talk about I'm not going to talk about presentations in any of these sessions, but I'll talk about it when we're in the hackathon, just because it's a bit of overload. Is what you've got 10 minutes to present as a team, right? And there's some caveats to that, but let's assume 10 minutes to that. In the first sort of 30 seconds, you want to identify the problem. So if I go back, you want to identify I'll just leave this here. You want to identify the problem, the intangible. So kids, we live in a digital world. There's no cash. There's no cash in wallets. Our kids don't understand how to save because of that. The intangibility of money is the problem. Our kids at 3 to 12. So what I've done is I've identified the problem, and then I've gone into customer segment, and I've said the problem is that the kids 3 to 12 aren't learning to save. Right? So very quickly in 30 seconds, you've created the problem, this customer segment. The size of that market is, I don't know, say 200, 300, 400,000 people, right? And their parents. And then we go into, and our solution is the cashless money box, whatever name you bring. So you do use those buckets to present, and it's very helpful to use those and just pull out the key salient points. Is that helpful? Cool. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on. Just do a time check just before we do 8:57. Yeah, okay. So in terms of sketching a lean canvas, again, you don't have to make notes. You can probably refer back to this, but do it in one sitting. So when your team comes together, the first thing I always say is get to know each other. Spend the time to understand each other. And anyone that turned up yesterday will really get the sense that I'm really drumming that through. You need to understand who's bringing what puanami, what special power does each person bring, and who are they, right? What background do they have, right? That whanoni, that connection is really important. The second most important thing that you can do is then stand up, get the business owner to recap the problem, and everyone spend some time writing down what they think the problem is, articulating it. You then put it up on the big post-it note, the lean canvas, and then you'll go through each of those boxes and you'll put all the ideas up. And then you just do that in 30 minutes. And then you'll say, right, we're going to start refining. And it's okay if you leave sections blank because you don't know stuff, right? There's some stuff like cost or revenue you don't know at this point. But as you go through, you will. It's really keep things concise. So my big advice would be we give you post-it notes because they're small, not because they're big pieces of things that you can write big long things. Try and get to the point very quickly. So just one word, 2 words, whatever it is, put them down there. Think in the now, don't think in the future, think in the now. What is it that you're trying to do right now? And then the other thing is focus on the customer. And this is an area that people struggle with. Beyond the problem, they're not clear on who they're trying to solve for. They say everyone in the world, everyone in New Zealand, everyone in the world. No. You've got to get narrow, really narrow it down. So in our case with the piggy bank, it's actually parents of kids aged 3 to 12, right? So that narrows your subset. So then you can say the business problem is the intangibility of money, kids aren't able to save, and we're targeting 3 to 12-year-olds, of which we know that there's, I don't know, I'll make up a number, 400,000 parents, and they look like this. They look like Susie and John, and there's a persona that we've developed for them. And in fact, we've even interviewed someone that fits within that, and you'll probably know some people. And the other thing is it's living, right? You'll never have it resolved. It'll continue to evolve throughout the course of the event and probably beyond. So I'll just pause here. Any questions on that? Because we're almost wrapping. Thumbs up. Keep moving, Kerry.
I suppose
Good.
I have one question, Kerry.
Okay, who's that? Sorry,
It's
Chris.
Chris here.
Sure.
Hey,
Nice
kia
to
ora. When we're talking about testing, at that stage, are you thinking of for us to like actually make phone calls and like go out and see people during the hack?
Yeah, man. The ways that you can do it, if I go back to this double diamond, generally around sort of 3 to 5 p.m. on Saturday, in that space, and some people actually do it earlier. They actually get in around that 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock on Saturday, where they've ripped through this quite quickly. You want to get out and do some paper-based validation. So the way that you can do that is you can mock something up with a few drawings, and again, your designers will help you with that. Or you can set up a survey and do it via Facebook, and use your channels. So some people build surveys, and what they're looking for is, in the judging and presentations, we polled 150 people, and the feedback around the problem statement was this, and we used and there's some quotes we used, and so the sooner you can do that, the sooner it helps you refine what you're after. So yeah, short answer is the more you can validate, and we've had people take videos of people, sort of do vox pops and say, look, on the street, do you mind if we just get a comment from you about this? You've got to ask people about it. And there's nothing like getting out. The worst thing you can do is squirrel away with an idea internally and then pop it out and it hasn't been validated. Have I answered your question, Chris?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Awesome. Cool. And look, you will have, there are some user experience and user interface designers that are going to be there, and many of them have experience in how to build these things. You may need people that can build sort of surveys or Facebook surveys. So look, what I said there, and Chris picked up on it beautifully, is user validation uplifts the results. If you can present a video of someone or a quote from someone validating your concept and idea, and you've polled 150 people, that has merit, it has credence. That is it, folks. I think I did it within 25 minutes. Apologise for that. The goal was 20. So that is it. Look, I can't say how much we're looking forward to seeing you all. We've got something really, we think, is something quite special and unique coming together, and you're going to make it that. And so we're looking forward to seeing you, and I'll open up for any questions at this point before we wrap. All good? I think we're done. Oh, hang on, something in the chat. I'll just check this. Oh, yeah, no, all good. Tom, yeah, brilliant. Hey, so hashtag Hack Tāmaki doesn't have the macron over it, just because some people can't find the macron. So it is, it's not grammatically correct from a te reo perspective, but Hack Tāmaki. And so thank you all very, very much. Go well, and thank you again to our sponsors. This has been really easy to get our sponsors in. Have a good day, everyone. Look forward to seeing you next week. Onwards and upwards.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Gary. See ya.
Kia ora.
Cheers, Joy.
Great.
Yeah, thanks,
See you, mate.
folks. Thanks. See you, mate. Cheers.